Having financial problems? We get it. Sometimes it's hard for even the best of us to save money and manage expenditures. The good news is you're not alone, and you have us here to be your guide. So these are some basic rules to succeed financially. Monitor your expenditures. This is something you've probably heard a million times already, and you'll probably hear it again today because it is effective and you're probably not doing it. In general, it should always possess priority. Ensure that each and every penny you spend has a clear accounting. The main objective, the goal of expense tracking, is to identify and eliminate wasteful spending habits from your financial life. Furthermore, preserving financial discipline and promoting improved financial skills. You'll develop financial habits like investing and saving if you consistently monitor your expenses. Essentially, as Peter Drucker once said, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Thus, you ought to take the following action to take charge of your spending patterns. First, evaluate your spending categories to identify which is most important. Maybe you can even discover that, like me, you may have been paying for a subscription that you aren't utilizing. The majority of people believe that reducing these non essential expenses is a sensible way to make financial savings. Now that you have an idea of where your money is going, you might also want to choose less costly activities. Establish a budget. Until recently, I had no idea why the majority of people didn't have a budget. The majority of people worry about the amount of paperwork needed to finish a budget. To be honest, it takes a lot of work, but the effort is well worth it. You see, you ought to approach budgeting from a different perspective. Consider the advantages and the extent which you will gain from it. Once you establish a rhythm, be sure to maintain it. This seems to be the only approach that functions. Thus, be careful not to lose your momentum. A budget is useless if it is made and then hidden away in a file or folder on your bookshelf or filing cabinet. Thus, make sure you review and update it frequently. To greatly simplify this task, you can also use digital apps and software. A quick search will turn up a ton of really good free ones on the internet. Set a spending cap for yourself on unplanned expenses. On the spur of the moment, purchase something that you literally know that it can be pleasurable and emotionally fulfilling, even if you hadn't budgeted for it. But that feeling of excitement might fade quickly, leaving you with a rash purchases of things you don't really need or want. If this describes you, you have to accept the harsh reality that something needs to change. It's actually the complete opposite of wise financial practices. Try applying the 1% rule to your purchases the next time you are at the mall. It says in this rule that anything that costs more than 1% of your annual gross income must be paid for within a day. For example, if you earn $60,000, you must wait a day before making any purchases that exceed $600. This rule pertains to discretionary goods that you want, but don't need. Essentially, the internal conflict that arises between do I really need this and do I want this? You have 24 hours to change your mind about the purchase during the cooling off period. Why not attempt it another day to think about whether you truly need it? You might not after 24 hours. Thus, the next time you shop, keep in mind the advice from Currency Wizard. Conserve for major purchases. Imagine what you can see on a gorgeous 90-inch flat-screen 8K television after seeing a lovely 4,000 advertisement for one. This does not imply that you should grab your credit card and phone and dial the number displayed on the screen right away. This is a really poor financial decision. If you truly want that large TV, it's preferable to use funds from a savings account set aside specifically for this kind of purchase, not a loan on a credit card, unless you have a really solid repayment plan, something that 99% of people don't have. There are numerous benefits to saving money for a significant or pricey purchase as well. If you save up and pay cash, you might be able to negotiate a lower price or, at the absolute least, better financing terms. The cost might also decrease. Furthermore, obtaining a loan might make more sense for a larger purchase, particularly if it's a home or another asset with an increasing value, or if it keeps money from leaving your savings or investment account. Okay, those were some basic rules to succeed financially. Thanks for watching.